Call to order the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session. Today is December 11, 2018. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we got special guests with us here today. One of our favorite times of the year. Linda Logan with the Sports Commission is here today with our high school winter sports state champions in recognition with the Columbus Sports Commission in the Ohio High School Athletic Association. So welcome back, Ms. Logan.
Yes, thank you, and happy holidays to everyone. It looks very festive in here, and so happy to be here celebrating a great 2018 for everyone. I'm very proud to be the host of 20 state champions here in Franklin County and Columbus, surrounding areas. So today we're recognizing our golfers, our field hockey, and our tennis players. There's a couple familiar faces that you'll see, and then a lot of new people that are in the room. So again, we love that variety. So without further ado, we're happy to be here. Thank you for everything that you do for us. And I'm going to introduce Jackie, who's here to represent the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Great.
Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Just want to extend again our gratitude to you all for recognizing not just the performances on state championship day, but for what they do in the classroom and what they represent for their schools and their school communities. So again, congratulations to all the student athletes, and thank you for having this into the Columbus Sports Commission, for inviting us.
Absolutely. Now, how do we do this usually? I think we do like each group. How do we do this usually?
You go ahead and
We
come out
come
and
out.
I'll call them.
And you'll call up the group and we'll take pictures. All right.
So we do this 3 times a year. We do it in the fall, and the spring, in the winter, and the spring for each of the teams. But just a few weeks ago, we also had everybody down, and we recognized the honors and scholars as well, because Commissioner Brown started it a few years back, but we also, while we think it's important to recognize the scholar athletes in the crowd, or in our county, we also always find it very important to make sure that we recognize the students in the community who are academically very superior, and also the kids that are artists as well. And there's a lot of kids in Central Ohio that are superior artists, and so we reach out to the school districts in Central Ohio and make sure that they help us to recognize kids that are fantastic artists and students as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll start with girls field hockey. We have the state champ. I don't think my mic's on. We'll start with girls field hockey, state champions in Division I, Columbus Academy. We have Carolyn Bowman, Mercedes Cristinello, Samantha Cass, Alexis Leader, Sydney Hill, Callista Pop, Averill Smith, and Jenny Lamadou.
So this is where we put you on the spot.
Hi, how are you? So good to see you
Put you on
too.
the spot.
Yeah, KJ's doing well.
Yeah, that's great.
If you are like a senior, where you plan to go to school, and if you plan on doing it. So here's the microphone.
So name, rank, all that. Where you going?
Okay. Okay. I'm Samantha Cass. I'm a senior, and I'm going to swim at Emory University next year.
That's awesome.
I'm Jenny Lamadou. I am also a senior, and I currently do not know where I'm going to be attending.
I'm Sydney Hill. I'm also a senior, and I also do not know where I will be going to college.
I'm Avi, and I'm a senior.
All right. Then give this to.
Together, and we'll get some photographs.
Let's go.
We put you guys in the middle.
Yeah, there.
You guys get in the middle. There you go.
Got a choreograph.
Coach?
I'm coach.
Coach, you get to say, talk about them.
You want to say something?
Well,
Okay.
the camera's up and going.
right, now Coach gets to talk about all of it.
I always like being first. Coach Horton, Ann Horton, I've been with the program from its initial existence when we went co-ed back in the day, and I do want to thank the Board of Commissioners and the councils for welcoming us here to this wonderful opportunity. This group of seniors, unfortunately, we lost 4 when the time change came upon us, so I was really thrilled that these 4 could be with us. Really, this has been a journey for us. I guess maybe their sophomore year, making it to state finals and not able to finish it off. And this year they were to not be denied. I think if we'd have not done anything but gold, they'd have been stomping on any type of awards. And but these girls scored 136 goals and only gave up 1 the entire season. They were 21-0. It was quite. It was fun. We averaged about 6 goals a game, which is a lot for field hockey. Normally, you're happy to get 1. So they're special and have done a great job for the school and represented them in fine fashion. So congratulations. I've got my words. Got them.
All right, next we have the state champion girls tennis doubles from Olentangy Liberty, Danielle Shonley and Maddie Atway.
Oh, they should introduce themselves.
Yeah, they got it.
I'm Danny Shanley. I'm a sophomore, and I don't really know where I'm going. I'm Maddie Atway. I'm a sophomore, and I also don't know where I'm going.
Give that to Coach.
I guess I'm talking before pictures, but this is their second time winning it. 2 out of 2. I don't think they've lost a match yet. And the biggest thing that they did, I think maturity was a big thing for them. They got less mature. No, they got they got way more mature, and they made adjustments throughout the tournament before Ivan told them. And so my 2 biggest jobs were 1, I was a cheerleader, and 2, I drove with a van, and I thought I did a pretty good job, but they'd probably disagree with me there.
Great. Here, let's get a
So we expect you guys back a few more times.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. One more. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. So when we come back,
All right, next we have the state champion girls golf team from New Albany, Madison Speece, Morgan Panko, Anna Ritter, Kari Hollenbaugh, Gwynnie Lee, Ellie McNutt.
This is the new power. Used to be double Jerome was always here. Now it's here. It's you guys. Because aren't you guys all like freshmen, sophomores and stuff?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior.
You're the elder of the group?
Yes.
Well, then you get to introduce yourself.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
I'm going to give these to Coach because I'm.
Thank you.
Okay. Come on over.
I'm Gwynnie Lee. I'm from New Albany, and I'm a junior, and I have no clue where I'm going.
I'm Madison Speece, and I'm a sophomore, and I also have no idea.
I'm Kari Hollenbaugh. I'm a freshman, and I also don't know.
I'm Anna Ritter. I'm also a freshman, and I have no idea where I'm going. I'm Ellie McNutt, and I'm a freshman. I don't know.
3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior. Unbelievable.
We did have 1 senior on the team this year, Morgan Panko, and she is in the midst of a final today, so that's why she couldn't join us. But thank you so much for the opportunity and the recognition. This has been a special group of girls to coach this year. The team was 187-0 throughout the course of the season. Average margin of victory was 19 strokes per 18 holes played. The average counting score that these girls put up was 74, just a hair over 74 per player, which is phenomenal, and set a state championship record, 2-day record, of 592, which was 10 strokes ahead of the previous mark, and won the state championship by 26 strokes. So it was a really fun season, and played extremely well, and just extremely proud of this group of girls.
Great job.
All right, next we have state champion in boys golf in Division I, Dublin Jerome, Jackson Chandler, who was also the individual state champion, Mason Wagner, Ethan Snyder, Tyler Grooms, Ryan Miller, and Jake Yarbrough.
Thanks for having us.
Sure.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. All of the guys introduce themselves first, and then I'll say a couple things.
I'm Jake Yarbrough. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Tyler Grooms. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jackson Chandler. I'm a senior, and I'll be playing at Ohio State next year.
I'm Mason Wagner. I'm a senior, and I'm going to Xavier University next year.
I'm Ryan Miller, and I'm a sophomore.
My name's Taylor Harley. I'm the head coach at Dublin Jerome. We also had a junior, Ethan Snyder, on the team, who was not able to be here today. Just a couple things about these guys. It was a great group, obviously, to be with. Pleasure to watch on the golf course. We had a great season, obviously, won 14 of our 16 regular season tournaments. We were sectional champions, district champions. We won the state championship by 25 strokes this year. Our overall record was 233-4 this season. A couple of individual accomplishments. Mason Wagner over there, senior, won first team All-Ohio. He was 4th overall at the state championship. And like they said, Jackson Chandler was co-medalist at the state championship, which was the first time in Dublin Jerome history. So some awesome accomplishments on the golf course. Off the golf course, these guys had an average GPA of a 3.38. So as other coaches know, especially golf coaches, we miss a lot of school throughout the year competing. So the fact that they were able to focus on their studies as well was very, very important. So thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
No, that's okay. It'll leave me in that picture.
All right, next we have the state champion boys golf team in Division II, Columbus Academy. We have Ali Khan, Matthew Kameyer, Kamar Byers, Griffin Mitchell, and Russell Ahmed.
Oh, good.
And they had exams.
They know where they need to be.
So they do know where they need to be.
Good to see
you.
First, I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for having us down here. Second, as Commissioner O'Grady said earlier, academics is huge, and all of our boys are juniors, except for 2 of them. So they have a big test this afternoon that they had to be at school for, and they have exams starting on Friday. So we have a junior, Ali Khan, who was 2nd overall in the state. Matthew Kameyer, junior as well. They both were first team All-State. Then we had Griffin Mitchell and Kamar Byers. Kamar Byers was 2nd team All-State. And then 2 freshmen, Russell Ahmed and Ane Reddy. And they represented us at the state tournament this year. They played very, very well. I have to admit, and I shared this with them, the biggest challenge that I had as a coach, we were state champions last year also. So as incoming juniors, I think they felt it was just going to happen. And you coaches probably know that. So it was a challenge getting them to continue to work hard focus on their game, which they did, obviously, and it was a very good season. So I'm proud of all of them, not only on the golf course, but in the classroom. So thank you.
Also not here, but wanted to recognize the boys Division II individual state champion Trevor Benow from Bexley. Next we have state champs in Division III from the Wellington School, Jack Duty, Karsten Judge, Aiden Schumer, Garrett Thiesing, and Jay Briggs.
I'm Jay Briggs. I play golf at the Wellington School. I'm a senior, and I do not know where I will be attending college next year yet.
I'm Jack Duty. I'm a senior, and I'm going to play golf at the University of Toledo next year.
I'm Karsten Judge, a sophomore.
I'm Aiden Schumer. I'm a junior.
I'm Garrett Thiesing. I'm a junior.
Sit down, Coach. Sorry.
I want to thank the commissioners for inviting us down today. It's wonderful to be honored and recognize the great season this team had. Last year we were second in our district tournament, and many people in the room know that only one team makes it onto the state tournament out of our district tournament. So we were pretty close last year, and then this year it was close again. We knew that Worthington Christian was going to be great competition for us, and we ended up edging them by just one shot at the district tournament. Recognize an individual or a couple individuals for that. Jack Duty was second overall in the district tournament, and I'll also point out Garrett Thiesing holed probably 35 feet of putts on his last 3 holes to get us through by one shot. So that was pretty exciting. Then at the state tournament, we had 2 first-team All-Ohio performers, Aiden Schumer and Garrett Thiesing, our juniors. 2 second-team All-Ohio performers, Jack Duty and Karsten Judge. We had a wonderful year. It was a year of records. We knew that this was going to be a year that we could do something pretty special. We had our lowest, our school record for low round of all time, and that'll probably stand for quite a while with a 5 under par 283. And we set the school scoring average record by over 10 shots. And we've got 4 of the top 6 individual scoring records in our school's history. So for a school with a state championship and 8 state championship appearances in our history, it's a pretty successful season for us. So thank you very much.
That's everyone that's in attendance. I also want to recognize Tyler Jones was the Division III state golf champion.
And thank you to all the parents and all of the other family members who have helped your students achieve what they have. It takes a whole family often to help kids succeed at sports and academics, and I know all of you here today have helped, and along with the coaches and teachers, thank you all for being here and helping your students succeed. It's really important. You haven't, as students, if you haven't thanked your parents or grandparents or aunts or whoever it is you're living with, please do so.
The only thing I would add is, again, congratulations to all of you, but I really want to encourage you to cherish the moment and live in the moment. Being a state champion is something that is unique, a moment in time, and very special because there can only be one state champion. and that's it, and you're it. And for those underclassmen, I'll tell you a quick story. So my son runs college track right now. He was all-state all 4 years at the Columbus Academy. And their sophomore year, they won the state championship in the 4x4. And they had all 3 guys come back the next year. And was that sophomore year or junior year? Sophomore year. I'm getting turned around. I think it was sophomore. Anyways, the point is that the next year, they didn't get back because they had a false start in districts, and they led the state the whole year by far. They would have probably broken every record that Academy has that year, and they had a false start in districts and never made it back. And so live in the moment, enjoy it, and appreciate it. You worked hard, and whether it was golf or any other sport, field hockey or any other sport, it takes work, and you know it. And I remember from my son's experience, I know from my own experience, and you watch how much work these young people put into getting there, and I'm just amazed because that work ethic transfers into life, and the same thing that you exude on the field and the leadership that you exude on the field will transfer in the workplace. It will transfer at home. It'll transfer in your community. And so we value you not just as athletes, but as leaders. In being state champions, the expectation, the bar is set very high for what we expect from you in life. And so congratulations, good luck to you. And for the ones who are underclassmen, we'll see you again next year.
Yeah. So, I say this each time, and people that are in the room that are here all the time, they've heard me say this, but bear with me. So I was on a state championship team when I was your age, and don't let this be the defining moment in your life. Don't let this be the coolest thing that you've ever done. Do what Commissioner Boyce tells you to do, and relish this, cherish this. Definitely live it and enjoy it. And for those of you that are underclassmen, come back and do it again and again. But if this is the biggest thing that you've ever done in your life, then you're not living the rest of your life. For those of you that get out there on a platform, whether it's Spotify or Pandora or whatever, there's an old man. His name's Bruce Springsteen. He's got a song called "Glory Days." Listen to that song, and don't let that be the story of your life. Go out and live your life, and have this be the springboard to cooler things in your life, to bigger things in your life. Have this state championship or these state championships that you've won be something that is a springboard to bigger and better things and to bigger and better accomplishments in your life. Make this experience be the catalyst to big, really great things to come in your life, because if all you're doing for the rest of the next 50 or 60 or 70 years of your life is remembering the state championship that you won, then you're selling yourself short. Make this be the springboard to some great accomplishments in the rest of your life. So congratulations. We brought you here because we wanted the community to celebrate what you've achieved. And definitely heed what Commissioner Boyce has said, and certainly what Commissioner Brown has said. Thank your parents, thank your grandparents, thank your little brothers and sisters for putting up with all the stuff that you've put them through, because I was there, and I know the misery I put my family through when I was trying to become a state champion. Because you know what? It's been great. It's been a great ride for all you guys. But each one of you knows that little devil inside you knows you've been a jerk too. So give them a hug and thank them. Give them a hug and thank them, because you've been difficult to deal with in the last several months. So thanks, guys. Now, you're all welcome to stay, right? Everybody's welcome to stay and learn about County Government 101. But if you got to get back to school, you're welcome to leave.
We won't be offended that you walk out. So thank you so much for being here today. Thanks, Linda.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right, we'll give a second for them to clear the room.
Thank you.
Take care. Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, Linda. I was such a tool. Those months those months when I was there. Oh.
I don't believe that.
Oh, I do.
Oh man, my dad made me go apologize to my mom for how difficult I was back in those days when I was a wrestler, and I wasn't even the guy cutting all the weight.
Yeah, I know those wrestlers.
That's right. You got a bunch of
I
wrestlers
got
in
a
your
family of wrestlers.
He was quite the popular kid.
That's funny.
All right. That's funny. That's funny. I'm just laughing. Anyways, all right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of November 20th, 2018 general session and the minutes of November 15th, November 29th, 2018 briefing session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
Great. Domestic relations.
Resolution number 844-18, resolution authorizing a settlement with Ms. Yari Y. Mobley for a disputed vehicle damage claim due to an auto accident involving Franklin County Common Pleas Domestic Division in the amount of $890.26.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barbara Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting a settlement for an auto accident involving a court employee within our probation department. The settlement has been reviewed and approved by the prosecutor's office. Any questions? We request the approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 844-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 844-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Commissioners. And we'll begin with the public hearing. Clerk, can you please read the public hearing notice?
Public hearing. Resolution regarding ordering the county engineer to prepare plans, specifications, estimates, and assessments for the improvement of the Kaler Ditch watershed, Blendon Township, and Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer and Franklin County Drainage Engineer. With me today, Jim Ramsey with the Franklin County Engineer's Office.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who'd like to speak on this issue at this time? Please come forward. Did you tell us if you got speakers up here? Yep, if you could. Come to the microphone there. Oh, yeah, you can just give it to the clerk there.
Just some handouts for you to help.
Great.
If you could state your name and address, if you represent anyone for the record, and we'd ask you to keep your remarks to 3 minutes. We do have a timer somewhere. Where's our timer?
We lost.
We lost the timer. I guess
I'll
you have
be
unlimited time then.
No, don't say that.
You got a timer back there. Thank you, sir.
I'll keep your time. You're done. No,
So I am Elena Amsteroff. I'm Water Protection Coordinator for the City of Columbus.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just here to speak about the ditch petition, not necessarily for or against, but since it is within 1,200 feet of our drinking water at Hoover Reservoir, there are some things that need to be considered to protect our drinking water. Hoover is the drinking water for 60% of our customers. We serve over 1 million customers in Central Ohio, so it's pretty vital. The very first map, the aerial that you see with all the orange lines, this is a Franklin County soil map designating the site. And just wanted to point out that the circle is the City of Columbus land. And you'll see a little tiny notification there that says ADE2. So that's Alexandria Silt Loam, 18 to 25% slope eroded. The rest, the BEA, CN, MRB, and PM, are on the site for the proposed ditch. So we just want to look at that. If you go to the next page, you can see a little closer up. The ADE2 soil on the city land is highly erodible, as designated by the Franklin County Zoning Resolution, Section 720. It's very steep. Those lines are 10-foot contour lines, so it's a very steep and erodible area. And from the edge of the property that this entails, it's about 1,200 feet to the open water. And then if you want to go to the next item. It's just a chart showing from the Franklin County Soil Survey that the soil types, all of the soil types on the proposed project area lay very wet, very, very wet. Hence the need for drainage, we understand that. But if you do increase the drainage there, it's got to go somewhere, which is directly onto the highly erodible soil that's the City of Columbus property. So that just needs to be a consideration. The next picture that has the pink on it, because we are a public drinking water supply, we have to prepare plans for the Ohio EPA, our source water protection plans. In that, we have to designate zones that are critical for our drinking water. And in the pink, this is where, if anything were to happen on that site, it's going to get to our drinking water very fast, almost where we cannot react to it soon enough. And you can see the project is wholly within that area. Another concern because of that is on this proposed project area is a horse farm. We like horses, however, horses go to the bathroom and they carry a thing called cryptosporidium, which is a pathogen. Both home septic systems and any animal waste carries cryptosporidium. Unfortunately, that's a waterborne illness that it is very difficult to take out at the treatment plants. So we have to do it as many ways as we can. We are currently developing a cryptosporidium reduction plan to go along with our EPA permit. So if we increase the runoff of the horse farm to our drinking water, there's that possibility of, exacerbating that problem. So that's just a concern. Then we have just had some questions as we were reading over the ditch petition. And I'll just read them off here. We understand these aren't going to be answered today. These are just items that we want to make sure that the engineers.
Actually, to wrap up, go ahead.
Okay. So I'll just let you read those. All of them have to do with the increased flow, the cause of erosion. The plan talks about retention and detention, but the actual construction costs don't mention anything about putting in retention or detention or green infrastructure to help mitigate that. And then the last page, it talks about just the petition, laws and what the petition laws require. And so we're just saying, we would like to, and we totally believe that the engineer is going to fill the requirement of looking at all these issues and making sure that, analysis are being done on hydrology, on soil loading, nutrients, anything like that could potentially impact us. So we are willing to work with them and answer any questions that you have.
I would just ask, is this the first conversation?
Yes.
The first time the
Yes, we just
engineer-
found out about this Friday afternoon at 4. So
this is the first time the engineer
Yes.
has seen this information, and I would
From us.
encourage you to keep in contact with the engineer and the drainage.
and we're very glad to do that.
engineer's office. And I would ask Cornell if you have any questions at this time, or if you have anything you would like to say.
Well, we have a presentation that we'll go through, and if the commissioners would like to hear it. And I think that it will likely touch on many of those aspects, and if it does not, then we will certainly work with and would, regardless, with the City of Columbus, and we certainly have our drinking water at the top of our list of priorities.
Right.
So would be nothing to worry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just say, no, you're fine. You can. I'm just going to direct this to the engineer. One, I do want to say thank you for bringing these things to our attention and being engaged with us enough to do that. And so, as Commissioner Brown said, I too would just let's keep an open mind about feedback and approach to make sure we get it right. It's not one of those things that it's harder to correct if you make the mistake. So, anyways.
Right.
Are there any further speakers on this public hearing? If not, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Excuse me. Resolution number 845-18. Resolution ordering the county engineer to prepare plans, specification, estimates, and assessments for the improvement of the Kaler Ditch watershed, Blendon Township, and Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution is for a drainage petition in the northeast part of the county, in Blendon Township and Plain Township. It is south of Walnut Street, east of Cubbage Road, and west of Lee Road. This is the Kaler Ditch watershed. We have experienced substantial drainage challenges through the years in this watershed, and this project proposed by MI Homes may be an opportunity to improve the watershed, improve the drainage, and actually have environmental improvements that may be realized, including improved drinking water in the Hoover Reservoir. At this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to Jim Ramsey, if that's okay with you all, for a presentation that will go through more specifics of the project.
And I'm not sure how I get this to be up there.
You get a pound on it.
Big man.
Click on.
Thank you, Commissioners, for having us today. So we've discussed previously the Ohio Revised Code 6131 spells out specific steps that we're to go through as part of a ditch petition or a petition for drainage improvement. We are now at the first hearing stage, and at this stage, if you all decide to advance the petition, we will then move into detailed design and we'll schedule the final hearing. The existing conditions at in the Kaler watershed are that we have a 107-year-old tile in the ground. It's a clay tile. It's in what I would describe as a fragile condition. We've been maintaining it over the past few years. We've been up there several times and spent a considerable amount of money. What originally called us to this situation was the systems on Lee Road that are home sewage treatment systems that were backing up because the system wasn't working properly and causing those their systems to fail. We've got a well-documented history of the problems. This is from the horse farm that we were discussing. And so this is the existing condition there. This was prepared by the horse farm owner in 2014 as part of a complaint that was filed with our office and with you all. Requesting help with her drainage improvements. And the current situation is that she really can't solve those problems on her own, and she is the point in this watershed where all the water comes to, despite the money that she has invested. We anticipate the cost of this on the proposed location being $308,000 to build it. Keeping in mind that we've spent over $70,000 in the past 10 years maintaining it, so it's a very high cost maintenance process or a maintenance project. Favorable factors for this is that we think this is an opportunity to replace a fragile system at no cost to existing property owners. It's an opportunity to improve conditions that are to work with the Columbus Source Water Protection folks and try to design a system that will be better than what's there now for all involved going through the process. Concerns, of course, are impact of properties. This is the Allen's property at the outlet. Beautiful property, and they don't have a drainage problem. So on the initial proposed location, if we go through this property, there's going to be an impact there. There's going to be disruption. We are considering this, and there's also alternate routes that we're considering to go around this property. When you consider benefit versus cost, we look at our cost of maintenance and what that trajectory is versus the cost of replacement and then ongoing maintenance of a new system. And you can also look at real estate values and land values, and then we also need to consider costs of the reservoir. If we create a problem there, what that would cost, and try and avoid that and try and make things better for the drinking water. It is our recommendation that you advance this petition and allow us to move forward and go into detailed design to the next step.
So my only question is, so Yeah, this is, I guess, presumed in the presentation, but so those pictures were before any new development came in, with the horses and the water and all that. So MI is building a new subdivision,
Mhm.
so much more impervious land, which means that it would heighten the drainage need issue. So this additional drainage issue accommodates both the current situation in poor drainage, but also it takes into account this major development that is going to exist too, because that would only add to the water.
Correct, and as was mentioned, our report doesn't talk about detention, but the petitioner is MI Homes, and they are proposing a subdivision, and that subdivision will be required to detain water and release it slower than it's released now. And so that's where you have the detention coming in. I don't think we're going to...
So essentially, they would have a significant retention pond of some sort that would...
Exactly.
So, and where on the site is the MI development?
The MI development, if I can... So here's where we're proposing. The MI development is this property here. It comes out to the road here as well.
And where's the current horse farm, just to give me proximity?
Horse farm is right here.
Yeah, and then, Mr. Ramsey, if you could, if I'm not mistaken, back where your elbow is now, is that the residence that we saw that you just showed a picture of as well? That has the ditch now?
No, that's actually...
That's on that side.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. The map is a little... Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, so at the end of the day, the heart of this conversation is improving the drainage. And so
For now and
doing
in the
nothing doesn't
Right.
help.
We think
I'm
that
sorry.
the existing condition as is bad.
And if you don't mind, could I ask Ms. Steroff, can you show us where the city of Columbus, on that map, where the city of Columbus's property is?
It's right here. There's the stream comes through here and right.
Oh, over near
On
where?
that side.
Right here.
Just past that other,
Yeah.
the other families.
So, yeah, and the water is like right there. This was only from coming to the corner of this property on the stream, following the stream to the open water. Was
Mhm.
1,200 feet.
So does the county's plans, obviously you're concerned enough because you came to present.
Correct.
Do you see a way that you got that you can work with the engineer to alleviate your concerns?
Our concerns are if we open this drainage first before we do any of the green infrastructure or stormwater mitigation, we're going to get all that horse farm water into our drinking water. So what we would like to propose is, can we do some of those improvements first, then open the drain? So that way we're keeping it back, we're cleaning it up before it goes. We know, I mean, just based on how wet this is and how roadable it is, there's a lot that needs to be taken into consideration.
It's been our experience from all the conversations we've had in this room over the last 10 years since I've been here, that entire part of the county is wet. I mean, that's like a swamp in the northeast part of the county,
Right.
you know, so. but
Were you
anyway.
aware of the MI development coming in?
Not until Friday afternoon.
Okay. What I would suggest, and I'm not going to presume to know the right way to fix this, but what I would suggest is that you work with county engineer and the drainage engineering team and figure out what makes the most sense. That's not our expertise. But in the meantime, what happens if we move this forward? Does that preclude anything that you may do
Look.
with the city?
I mean, we don't speak for each other. I think is a pretty kind of a no-brainer though, but you know.
Oh, come on.
It's a no-brainer. I think you guys have a pretty good solution, but this is the drinking water.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
So,
yeah.
what you guys have presented us so far is pretty good stuff. You need to work with these guys and
Definitely.
Yeah.
fix that issue first.
Yeah.
You know.
But,
I have a point of clarification,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, and that is that we have not designed the improvement yet.
Right.
This hearing today is to decide whether or not we move forward with the process. There will be yet another hearing to hear what we have come up with design-wise and more detailed
great.
cost-wise.
Perfect.
So
That's
in
what I
between
wanted,
now
clarification.
and that last hearing will give us the opportunity to work very closely with City of Columbus and, you know, see if the staging idea can be incorporated. I feel like it can. That makes perfect sense to, if the project moves forward into construction, that it's done in a way that is, keeps in mind the downstream water source. So,
Great, thank you. And I would just ask if you would join us at our next hearing too, because I'd love to hear back from you directly too.
Yeah.
About working with us and just where things are. And so I don't know when it is, but I'm sure we can work with the engineer's office.
We want to know that the Department of Public Utilities is happy with the answer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I will move for approval of 84518.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 845-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Ms. Farrell, thanks for coming today.
Good. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
thank you.
Resolution number 846-18. Resolution authorizing a settlement to the City of Columbus for a utility damage claim due to an equipment accident involving a Franklin County Engineers Office employee. The amount of $5,455.23.
Commissioners, this resolution is for damage to a City of Columbus fire hydrant during normal course of business while maintaining the roadside along Winchester Pike. And this resolution we have worked on with the prosecuting attorney's office and recommend its approval to resolve this matter.
Move approval of 84618.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 846-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 847-18. Report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Reynoldsburg-New Albany Road at Welding Development Improvement, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $25,138.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carla Marable, County Engineer's Office. This resolution seeks compensation for property owners abutting the Reynoldsburg at New Albany at Weldon Development Improvement. The project is a collaborative project with MI Homes. MI Homes is constructing a new subdivision, and they are required to add turn lanes to that subdivision. They've requested that we acquire the necessary right-of-way. The improvement as well as acquisition costs are all being paid by MI Homes. We have followed all the state and federal requirements to acquire the land, and we've negotiated with the property owners, and compensation was based on a fair market appraised value.
Move approval of 84718.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 847-18 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Sheriff.
Resolution number 848-18. Resolution authorizing a settlement to UMC Family Services for a disputed vehicle damage claim due to an auto accident involving Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy in the amount of $1,000.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. This resolution approves the settlement of a vehicle damage claim that occurred on September 8th of this year. Per the recommendation of the prosecutor and fleet management, this resolution offers payment in the amount of $1,000 to settle the claim. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 84818.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 848-18 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
You too.
Veteran Services.
Resolution number 849-18. Resolution authorizing a contract with Mike's Copyworks for the provision of consulting services for advertising and promotional media placement for the Franklin County Veterans Service Commission in the amount of $88,934.
Good morning, Commissioners. Buck Bramlish, Veteran Service Commission. This allows us to do target marketing with the effective media and support of our outreach program as we reach our large veteran population and those partners that help us support the veterans.
This is great. I'll move approval of 84918.
Second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 849-18 has been adopted.
Thanks, Buck.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 850-18, resolution approving a contract with Advocacy and Communication Solutions LLC for early learning programming and multimedia campaign in the amount of $570,000.
We're doing that. I'm just gonna squeeze in because I think I can do the first. I'm just gonna do the first one.
There we go. You're good.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services.
Charles Noble, Job and Family Services.
Commissioners, as you remember, the legislator mandated that all licensed and home-based centers providers who accept state subsidies must obtain a one-star rating by July 1st, 2020 in order to continue participating in the publicly funded child care program. In March of 2017, Franklin County Job and Family Services released a request for proposal to manage a short-term comprehensive multimedia awareness campaign for our community for Step Up to Quality. ACS was awarded the contract after a competitive procurement process and have helped to develop a research-based two-pronged approach to outreach. The initial phase of the campaign focused on research and targeted outreach to providers, parents about the importance of star rating. Phase 2, which will go underway in January of 2019 of this year or next year, will expand on both the research and outreach while also incorporating a training element. With us today, we have Scarlett Boder from ACS and Terry Ragland. The reason why we asked them to come is because we want you to see, and we want the community to see the impact of dollars, especially as we're talking about poverty. Many times these children who receive publicly funded child care slots in our community, in addition to quality education, in addition to being ready for kindergarten, in addition to having the increased cognitive behavior, many times some of those children, that is the only meal that they will receive. So if today was 2020, 22,000 children would not be able to be dropped off at their center. And if we can have Scarlett come up just really quick and just kind of go over the impact of the investment that you approved for this community.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Scarlett Bowder. I'm Vice President and co-founder of ACS. And Director, do you want me to just clip through a few of the slides? That would be easier. So just a quick reminder, we focused on key neighborhoods that draw down the highest PFCC, or publicly funded childcare. Those were also the neighborhoods, and not by chance, that had the most unrated childcare providers and the most children in need. In general, in Franklin County, we have about 740 childcare providers. That's a split between home and center-based care, majority of which are center-based care. Majority of the providers are unrated and draw down the majority of PFCC. So you can see those numbers there. I'm not going to dive deep into those, but they're all sitting there. But the majority of the children in unrated care draw down majority of those dollars. What we did over the past year is, as the director mentioned, research, a very comprehensive training strategy where there's in-person, hands-on technical assistance training for home and center-based child care providers. We were able to also institute a tracking poll that essentially determined awareness levels among members of the public related to, obviously, the importance of early learning, but really more critically, Step Up to Quality and 5-star rating, so awareness and favorability. And this is directly related back to not only some of the paid and earned media we did, but the intensive training that we did. I mean, we were engaging the core group of individuals, i.e. the child care providers, the parents that serve them, for 30 hours worth of training throughout a 6-month period since June of last year. And I have to say, doing this around the country, we were very, this is a very unique scenario in Franklin County in that we had the support of not only the commissioners, but of the director to say, do it well, do it right, make sure it's research-based. And with that, I think that's the reason why we've seen the data and the outcomes that we have. So through that tracking poll, we had an increase of awareness and favorability in double digits of not only step up to quality, but 5-star rating. And the distinction here, because some people might say, well, it's one and the same. When we did the research with parents and providers, people recognized the state Step Up to Quality program as 5-star. That was their nomenclature. That was their comfort level. So everything we did from that point on talked about 5-star. But at the end of the day, the numbers were in double digits. This was, having done this across the country, I don't think I've seen double digits increases in less than a year's time. And I think we could attach that back to we really had the flexibility and the authority and the leadership here to take best practices that we've seen in other places and put them all together into this project. So as far as an ROI, we're looking at these numbers from a research perspective, but also we've been able to, out of the 540-ish providers that are not rated in this county, the training has engaged, registered, and covered 180 of those providers, the majority of which are unrated. And they draw down about almost half, about a third of the PFCC. So just to be clear, and I think everyone in this body knows, it's still up to the state to rate those providers. But everything this county had the ability to do, it has done for this part of the project at least. And 180 of those providers are now poised at the foot of the state to become rated. And that includes, those providers cover about a third of the kids that are in unrated care. So not only did we increase awareness levels among the general public, but we were able to engage almost a third of the unrated providers, over a third of the children in unrated care. Now the state just has to get them rated. Just want to see if there's anything else. So for 2019, we want to take the training to the next level. Last year, we only had 6 months of training offered just because we had to develop the curriculum and get it approved and get ramped up. We'll have 12 months of training, going from about 30 sessions to just under 50 sessions available in total. Like this year, that'll be a combination of in-person as well as blended or online training, which, as we know, child care professionals need that flexibility. And then we're increasing, exclusively we had them held at Northland Opportunity Center. We're going to go to 3 opportunity centers and just go much broader from a geography perspective. We're also going to dive back in and ask the providers after a full year of training, what did they think? How can we improve? We'll also revise the curriculum to make sure we're responding to the feedback that we heard already, but certainly in that formal survey. We'll do a tracking poll at the end of this year to hopefully have as good of a bump as we did this year. We'll also establish a database. I think what's known very little throughout the community is that the state controls the data with which the county works when it comes to child care providers rating, unrating. And while it's not a perfect scenario, what we really want to do is provide you and empower you with a database that's structured in a way that when you receive data from the state, you're able to manipulate it in almost real time. So when people ask, how many people are rated? How many people are still unrated? How many kids? Where are they? You won't have to wait for the state to get that data as often as you do now. We'll continue the community outreach. And we'll also, on our end, on the ACS side, we'll dive deep into a landscape assessment of your child care unit, saying how do we need to prepare and modify the way that unit operates now relative to Step Up, because it does a bunch of other things, but relative to Step Up, how do we need to recalibrate the operational side of that unit to be better prepared for what's coming down the pike from a state perspective. And on the research side, we'll continue a deep dive on the social media side, which was very successful. We're pulling back on the paid side. Philosophically, we believe to create change, you really have to be diving deep at the grassroots level, building education partnerships with grass tops, community partners, stakeholders, everybody. But we're really going to start to drive the social media side, recut some commercials with people who have actually finished the training, and continue to push out that echo chamber that we think has worked up to this point.
Thank you.
Scarlett, Director, the NAACP has offered their volunteer network on the media or the community outreach side to reach out to, at your direction, to reach out to whoever you guys find necessary to reach out as much as they can at your direction. So just wanted to pass that along.
Thank you, Commissioner. And for the community, many people may know this, but out of the 22,000 children that will be affected in some of the lowest asset neighborhoods in our community, 68% of those are children of color. So I'm appreciative of the NAACP being a partner in this initiative because it's a big lift.
It is a big lift. Do we know when the providers go to the state, do we know how soon our providers learn when they get rated and what that rating is?
So the process to become rated is about a 3 to 6 month time frame. So some of the providers that this effort has trained are just about, they're having their paperwork, if you will, their portfolio reviewed. There is no formal mechanism that exists statewide to advise counties on a rolling basis what providers have become rated. The counties have to proactively ask for that information, which we have. They've been very helpful, but because there's no formal mechanism, it's a little clunky.
And we're working with the state. We had a meeting with the state where those providers who went through Job and Family Services training, they would agree to track our providers to see how long it was taking. If they were not approved, what other remedial services need to be put in place for those providers to get them approved.
That would be helpful to
Yes, ma'am.
know so that we're not continuing to do something that's not going to be effective.
Yeah. And lastly, commissioners, again, this work supports your poverty initiative because as we are going around the county talking to people who actually live in poverty, since October, we've done at least 16 to 17 focus groups. Quality childcare continues to be at the forefront of the conversation. And if parents cannot drop off their children July 1st, 2020,
Go to work.
parents will lose their jobs. And from a government side, that would affect our work participation rate.
Well, it in fact employers being able to have good quality
Right.
employees.
Right.
And we know this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, if I may say, the one question we did ask in that tracking survey is, but for childcare, would people have a tough time getting to work or school? And 93% of the people surveyed said yes.
Wow.
It's a good number to have in our
Yeah.
pocket.
Absolutely.
Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval of this resolution. Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I'll
Scarlett.
move approval 85018.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Yes. Resolution number 850-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 851-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with City of Whitehall on behalf of Restore Whitehall for Workforce Development and Family Support Services Programming in the amount of $500,000.
Commissioners, Restore Whitehall is the collaborative community-based pilot that seeks to bring together stakeholders to support educational systems, promote economic empowerment, create partnerships, and foster individual and family success. It incorporates elements of workforce development as well as intensive individualized case management to support families with serious and complex needs. Restore Whitehall will offer parenting partner workshops, workforce development trainings, financial wellness seminars, and English as a second language classes for parents, as well as educational support and tutoring for students. Through this multi-generational approach, they hope to assist families addressing their own unique barriers and in turn strengthen the community as a whole. The pilot program will target 30 to 45 low-income families, which equals approximately 150 individuals, with children attending elementary, middle, and high school in Whitehall. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 851.
Before we vote, if I could.
Okay.
I could
Yeah.
So, one, why Whitehall? Why did you choose Whitehall? And then two, are we looking at other municipalities where they may have similar demographics? Because I get Whitehall's demographics and why, but I just want to hear you say it.
So what the data tells us, looking at incarceration rates for youth in Whitehall, I'm looking at high school graduation rates, looking at employment rates, as well as folks that have high school educations or college degrees. Maybe to put it succinctly, Whitehall is at the top of the list for indicators that represent failure, and at the bottom of the list for indicators that represent success. And so Whitehall, I think as a jurisdiction in Franklin County really jumps out because of the need. And so what we hope to learn from this Restore Whitehall pilot is the lessons that we learn around two generational approaches, around family stabilization through case management. We want to be able to lift that up and then take to other areas of Franklin County with similar demographics.
Excellent. Thank you.
Did you move? Second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 851-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 852-18. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Columbus Kappa Foundation for parent education programming in the amount of $50,000.
So I think that this resolution is particularly timely. There was a report that came out in the Dispatch recently looking at infant mortality rates here in Franklin County. What we see is that the rate for white babies is on the decline. The rate for African American babies is holding stagnant. Right now, there's about a 2.5. Black babies are at risk at about 2.5 times the rate of dying as there are white babies here in Franklin County. So as we all know, the challenge to our community, or the challenge that our community faces with regards to infant mortality is large. Many of our efforts to combat this epidemic have been focused on engaging women and mothers, and rightfully so. However, as the Celebrate One community initiative enters its 5th year and continues its broadening efforts, our agency is taking a more holistic approach as well. The Columbus Kappa Foundation's Fatherhood Matters program seeks to bring fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and brothers into the fold through a pair of community initiatives. Kappa's Nurturing Program Initiative is an evidence-based 13-week group program aimed at fostering male nurturing skills and attitudes, similar to the Centering Pregnancy model for expectant mothers. Topics range from parenting skills to how to handle discipline and manage behavior to enriching playtime and activities. Participants can also access additional assistance and family support services through Kappa's network or programs and partners. Together, the Kappa Foundation plans to engage and educate approximately 30 fathers across Franklin County. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
This is a great initiative, and I'm glad to see some parity because both parents have a role.
Before I got a couple questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, can we see that, because I know this isn't our first contract with Kappa Foundation for this work, right?
That's correct.
I'd like to see the data on how this program is performing. I want to see, just where they're making a difference and see what we've been tracking and try to better understand, the value of the Kappa Foundation doing this versus bidding it out on a regular basis and giving some other entities a shot to present their approach or strategy. So I'm just curious. It may be working perfectly and may be the best we have to offer out there, but I'd like to see that data because I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Great.
We'll get that to you at some point today.
Okay, thank you.
Did she move? Okay, second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 852-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 853-18. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Columbus Urban League for financial education services in the amount of $160,000.
Commissioners, the Columbus Urban League 700 Credit Score Initiative is a financial education workshop designed to work with low-income residents across Franklin County to focus on credit, debt, budgeting, savings, and all essential components of improving credit scores. This past year, the Columbus Urban League enrolled 125 individuals into the program, with approximately 40% showing improved credit scores, while 100% of the participants developed a monthly budget. I would like to make mention that yesterday in a poverty focus group in Linden, we had a mother talking about how this program helped her, and she is on her way to purchasing a home because of this program. And again, that happened in our poverty steering committee, or our poverty focus group in Linden just yesterday. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 85318.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Resolution number 853-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 854-18, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Future Ready Columbus for the management of student progress tracking system and youth serving agency support programming in the amount of $863,713.75.
I'll do this one to give you a break. For several years, our agency has partnered with Future Ready Columbus to make student data from the C-Hive and Learning Circles tool available to community agencies. C-Hive tracks data for children in early learning settings to support kindergarten readiness by monitoring children's strength as well as areas for improvement. C-Hive helps track performance and measures effectiveness of early learning programs. It also identifies opportunities to align and promise practices or develop continuous improvement strategies for early learners. Learning Circle is an early warning indicator and intervention system that monitors attendance, behavior, core academics data for K through 12 students. The Learning Circle dashboard allows users to analyze early warning indicators at the student's classroom and school and district level. The funding will help Future Ready Columbus maintain the C-Hive and Learning Circle system and database and provides technical assistance support, coaching to 50-plus community agencies. Future Ready holds monthly meetings which provides including county-funded after-school programs and summer camps to share successes, addresses challenges, and develop continuous improvement. The two systems combine to host data and measure performance for more than 76,000 Franklin County youth across 6 school districts, including Columbus City Schools, the Graham School, Groveport Madison, Reynoldsburg City Schools, United Schools Network, and Harambe School. Today with us, commissioners, in the room, they are not scheduled to speak, but we do have the Executive Director of Future Ready, Ms. Jane Leach, who is also on the Poverty Steering Committee, and the Director of Engagement, Ms. Marguerite Jade, and they would be happy to speak if you had any questions directly to this program.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Director. I'm just curious, and you probably can answer this versus them, but where does the rest of their funding come from? And then where are we on their funding spectrum? I know Columbus is partners with this as well, with Future Ready, and so I'm trying to figure out where. Are we the largest funder, or is the city of Columbus the largest funder?
We are the largest funder, and Jane, if I am telling a lie, you might want to jump up right now and tell me and correct me. But for right now, our investment in Future Ready has been.
Why don't you come on up? Yeah.
Has been very significant. The investment, I believe, over the last year was 1.3 million, and I don't know if you all exceeded funding from last year. I know Jane, you're new, so.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Marguerite Jadam, Director of Community Engagement for Future Ready Columbus.
Jane Leach, Executive Director of Future Ready Columbus. Thank you.
So Learning Circle, the county takes the bulk for Learning Circle and C-Hive. The city contributed $200,000 to C-Hive. In terms of the operating, how do we use it, the coaching, the professional development, building the community of practice, that's divided among 5 funders. So the county takes 50% for Children's Services, ADMH, the City of Columbus, and United Way split the other 50%.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I'll move approval of 85418.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Resolution number 854-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Hey, Joy, Director, can you look at your phone?
Resolution number 855-18, resolution approving a 3-year contracting agreement with AssureCare Incorporated for the Q Continuum System end user license and maintenance agreement in the amount of $182,056.88.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Missler, Director of the Office on Aging. This resolution authorizes an agreement with AssureCare, Inc. for the licensing and maintenance of the Office on Aging's case management database system, Q Continuum. The term of this agreement is from May 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2021, with the total amount being $182,056.88. Payments will be made annually over the 3-year term of the agreement. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 855-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 855-18 has been adopted.
Thank you. Economic Development Planning.
Resolution number 856-18, resolution authorizing the approval of 3 fiscal year 2018 U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development funded grant agreements to provide community development services to Franklin County residents in the amount of $250,000.
Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioners, rather. This resolution seeks approval of 3 community development contracts. All 3 are funded in the amount of $250,000 among the composite 3. They're all from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the county's annual allocation. First contract would be for the Toulon Library, that's Rebuilding Together Central Ohio, amount of $50,000. Area Enhancement Services by the Mid-Ohio Board for Independent Living, amount of $25,000. And third contract would be a microenterprise loan program, that'd be an amount of $175,000 by way of the Economic and Community Development Institute. Pending any questions, I respectfully ask for your approval.
Move approval of 856-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 856-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 857-18, resolution awarding a loan agreement with the Community Housing Network for the Laurel Green Housing Project in the amount of $175,000.
This resolution would approve the agreement with the Community Housing Network. This is for the construction of Laurel Green Housing project. This project would construct 40 different units, housing individuals who have a mental health diagnosis. The apartment complex is located on North Ridge, that's near I-71 and Route 161. The total project cost is $7.2 million, of which we'd be contributing $175,000, again, from the Department of Housing and Development Home Program.
I'll move approval of 857-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Yes. Resolution number 857-18 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
PFM.
Resolution number 858-18, resolution authorizing a guaranteed maximum price amendment number 2 to modify the original contract agreement with Elford Inc. to provide construction manager at risk services, including construction services associated with the construction of the new Forensic Science Center in the amount of $17,305,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. Joining me today is Randy Duncan, Project Executive for the Corna Kokosing Elford construction team for the new Forensic Science Center. Also, Pizzuti Solutions owner's representative is in the audience. This resolution modifies the original contract agreement with Elford Inc. and Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment, GMP, number 1, which was previously approved on October 9th, 2018, and authorizes a GMP Amendment number 2 to provide construction services associated with construction of the new Forensic Science Center. Execution of this GMP Amendment number 2 is the next step in the construction manager at risk project delivery model that is being employed on this project. Elford continues to hold all subcontracts associated with this project. Specifically, GMP Amendment number 2 includes the following construction work: masonry, drywall, mechanical and plumbing systems, and electrical and technology systems. GMP Amendment number 1 for 8 bid packages was approximately $6 million. Today's GMP Amendment number 2, at a not-to-exceed cost of approximately $17 million, is consistent with the budget estimate. Therefore, the new total GMP contract sum is approximately $23 million. We anticipate GMP number 3, which will represent the final balance of the construction work, to be brought to the board in early 2019. Randy Duncan will now provide additional brief comment on this amendment, including SEBE and local participation. Then, pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment number 2. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We're happy to report that once again we are under budget, as Darla mentioned. We're about $80,000 under budget on these 4 packages, so we're really happy with that in the competitive market we're seeing today. SEB participation was also very happy to see where we landed today. We are tracking just a little bit under 19% on this package. So in aggregate, we expect after we execute all three GMPs, it will be somewhere between the 14 and 18% SEB participation.
And as a reminder, the aspirational goal for this project is 14%.
So we're also happy to report that we have great local participation of these 4 contracts. 3 of the 4, so 75% of the contracts will be local contractors, with the 4th having a local office but headquartered elsewhere.
Sure. And Dr. Lafayette of Regionomics, when we bring GMP number 3 for the final balance of the construction work in early 2019, we'll present the economic impacts for GMP 1, 2, and then 3. So you will see him in January as well for this project. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move approval of 858-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 858-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Happy with how this is going.
It's going great. We're happy for the opportunity and appreciate it. It's a great
That's
project for
great.
the community.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 859-18, resolution authorizing an extension to the contract with Dearborn National Life Insurance Company, Dearborn National, for life insurance services for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $730,000.
Good morning, actually, good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, this resolution extends the current contract with Dearborn National for an additional 36 months or until December 31st of 2021. Dearborn National provides basic life and accidental death and dismemberment coverage to our employees and a voluntary life insurance program to our employees, their spouses or domestic partners, and their dependent children. All rates remain the same throughout the extension period with the exception of the basic life rates, which increase slightly in years 2 and 3 of the extension period. Dearborn has been a good partner, and this renewal offer, I believe, reflects their commitment to this relationship. So pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 859-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 859-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 860-18, resolution authorizing a renewal with Sun Life Financial for a specific excess risk stop-loss insurance for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $1,110,000.
This resolution extends the current contract with Sun Life Financial for an additional 12 months or until December 31st of 2019, and it also allows authorization for the county administrator to sign the documents to effectuate this renewal with Sun Life. Sun Life provides stop-loss coverage to the Franklin County Cooperative, whereby they assume the risk for any medical, behavioral health, or pharmacy claims over $1 million for any one individual in a given plan year. We've also added an experience rating refund endorsement to the program, which allows a refund of a portion of the annual premium if the cooperative's experience is a positive one through this extension period. So pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 860-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 860-18 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 861-18, resolution appointing Carla Williams Scott to the Board of Trustees of the Columbus Metropolitan Library.
Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this appointment.
Move approval of 861-18.
Yeah, second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 861-18 has been adopted. Resolution number 862-18, resolution appointing Michael Curtin as a member of the Human Services Levy Review Committee.
Again, Commissioners, pending any questions, would recommend approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 862-18.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 862-18 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Are there any journalizations?
There are none, Commissioner.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting.
every